All right, this is our Kennametal Extrude hone, EasyFlow 200 abrasive flow machine.
Take a walk through it. We got the front end here, obviously the touchscreen panel, and I've already got some media in the lower cylinder, and so we can get this running in a minute. And I've got a fixture here just so we can shove some media through a fixture and create back pressure. Otherwise, it won't clock cubic inches. So here's the control. We'll come back to it in a minute and maybe go through some of the pages. The dual hands are down here for clamping. And the only other item of consequence, of course, is media pressure. And we can kind of set that on the fly, and in a minute we'll show that, and I'll change it as we go, and you can kind of take a look at that. So, yeah, down low here is the hydraulic tank, of course, hydraulic system up high with a cooling fan. And down below that is the cooling water cooling inlets and outlet. This one does have the cooling cups on it, up and down on the cylinders. All this requires is a chiller for it, and that's it. Documentation up on top of the panel here, which has electrical schematics, hydraulics, and operator manual, and screenshots of setup on the front screen too. Pretty much all you need there. And opening up this guy here is the main panel. Siemens PLC, and some ice cube relays, safety relay, conversion transformer down there, three-phase transformer, and we're currently tapped in at 480 volts incoming. So, and we'll jump in on the control, come around the front. So just to reset it to get control of the machine is here. Before we even start the hydraulics, which is here, I'll just go briefly through the panels. They're pretty basic. Up and down for the top and bottom cylinder, machine unclamp, and these are all just status windows here. There's an auto screen here. When we're all said and done, things are ready to go, we'll jump into auto, and I'll explain that in a second, but we are going to be running volume, cubic inches, versus, let me show you this, versus time mode. You can select volume or time, one-way or two-way. We are currently running volume, two-way, which is a pretty standard way to run these things. And bottom cylinder retract time, I thought I had that at 0. I'd like to have that at 0. Let me change that right away. There we go. And all that's for if you're running time mainly. You can retract the cylinder before the bottom cylinder, so to speak, starts pushing media. You retract the opposite cylinder, and you can do that with both of these. Retract time for bottom and top cylinder. I'm leaving them at 0 and 0 because we're just clocking cubic inches. And machine unclamp time, I got at 6 seconds. Process horn, I let the horn ring for 2 seconds. And a hydraulic system, which is really nice, will shut down after 20 minutes. You could have that thing shut down 1 minute after your cycle's finished if you like. Aside from that, maintenance screen, media cup checks, which are kind of nice to have. I'll just briefly go over them. Upper one, seal plate check, kind of shows you how to check it, what to do. Hour meter, so since I've powered this thing up on our floor, it's been on for maybe 5 hours, and I've run it for about an hour just playing around with the cycle times. I/O monitor is the fourth one, which is nice to have. Kind of green lights you and lets you know what inputs are currently on through the PLC, which is nice. And lastly, just an option page, which requires a password for, which is lets you do a scaling factor with the encoder input for cubic inches. So that said, we're going to jump back up to the main screen, hit hydraulic start. It's up and running pretty good. Back to process screen, just to double check it. We're all good here. We're going to leave this alone. And again, manual screen, we can kind of bring this up a little bit and show you, which would be bottom cylinder advance, and you'll see the media come shooting up. So I don't know if you're getting all that. Yeah, I'm just hitting buttons here. So this is advanced, standard stuff. Retract. And same thing, although you can't see, you can hear it. Here's top cylinder advancing and retracting. So that all works pretty good. And now just to show the media usage, we can do it on the fly while we're running, but we can also do it right now just by deadheading the cylinders. You can see what we come up, get up on the gauge here, and here's our media pressure. That's about 600. It'll go all the way to 8, or we can come down to 4. And we're gonna run right around, I don't know, 5 or 6 maybe. There we go, I'm gonna leave it right around 6. That's good to go. So that's the same thing that needle's going to do during an auto cycle. So I'm just going to put a fixture up here and slap it on there, kind of eyeball it, and clamp down on there, because here's the clamping mechanism. I haven't showed you yet, but this is unclamped. I don't know if it was all the way up or not, but they're pretty high up there. See? I think it's really high for tall fixturing. So I'm going to come down and clamp. This one does not use an air booster. On the screen here, Pete, to show it's clamping. And if you kind of watch this as I clamp, see it's unclamped. I'm going to clamp, let off, and when it's done blinking, it says clamped, then we're good to go for an auto cycle. Still blinking. Now it's good. So at this point, we're clamped, it's happy. I can jump over into auto, and we are going to, because we're running process volume, I just got it set up for 100 cubic inches, 3 cycles, which is 100, 100 is 1 cycle. So roughly speaking, 600 cubic inches to get 3 cycles. So let's see how that goes. All I have to do from here on out is hit auto start, and maybe we could play with the pressure a little bit. And it shows what's happening too. All the status windows are nice to have. It shows bottom cylinder advancing right now, and watch the clock. We are clocking cubic inches. Once it reaches enough pressure, it'll start clocking off the encoder. And you'll see this one change when you'll hear it, and it'll be top cylinder coming back down as soon as we hit 100. So now we're pushing back down top cylinder, which is, you see now, that's 1 cycle. Doesn't clock on the way down, but as soon as we hit bottom and it starts coming back up again, it'll start clocking again. So now it's clocking and coming up for our 2nd cycle. And while that's running, if you want to come back over here, we can jack up the media pressure here one time while it's running. It'll move the media a little bit faster, even though it's cold in here. I'm at 6. I'm going to go up to like maybe 7. There we go. Now we're pushing a lot stronger at 7. It might clock a little bit faster for this last cycle. If we come back over, top cylinder's going down. We'll be coming up for our last push here in a moment. This thing total, I think, goes about 850 media. 850 pounds media pressure, I believe. Right around 800 to 850, I think. Now the bottom cylinder is advancing, so as soon as we reach 100, that'll be our 3rd cycle. And you can kind of pull back. We'll have a buzzer for 2 seconds, and we'll have an unclamp for 6 seconds. As soon as the 2 cylinders position themselves. End of cycle. I'll go with the main screen, open it up a little, oh, wrong screen. I'm going to go to manual screen. I'll unclamp it a little bit. Let's see what we got here. A little bit of media up there. I'll get my arm a second here. Let's open this up some so we can kind of, so at this point, all we have to do is take our tooling fixture off of here. And I don't have my scraper here. Just kind of cut into this is generally all I do, so. That's it. We're right back in business with the manual screen, so there we are there. Bring it all back in. And we're ready for our next cycle here. That's about it. So shut off the hydraulics, and we're good to go.